She did not come here by accident. During the day, this park seemed ordinary. Simple, the kind you walk through without stopping. But in the evening, it changed. The trees closed in more tightly, the paths lost their direction, and the air became heavier, as if it contained more memories than it should have. The shadows of the branches stretched across the ground, in a long, smooth line, and she held her breath slightly, feeling as if the space around her was breathing with her. She walked in slowly, without determination. Not like a person with a purpose, but like a person tired of being present in other places. Each step sounded quiet, but its echo seemed longer than it actually was. She listened to the sounds, the barely audible rustling of leaves, trying to sense if the space was reacting to her presence. There was no one here who could recognize her. And that was why she chose this place. I had been here before. I was always here before. I knew how this park treated those who came with questions but no words. I knew where the space narrowed, not physically, but in feeling. Where the pause between steps became longer than usual. She took a few steps and stopped. As if she was waiting for something to happen right away. As if her very appearance was supposed to trigger something. But the park did not react. Not because it didn't notice, but because it did not register it as an event. I was light, almost invisible. She didn't notice me. Not because she couldn't, but because there was no need to notice anything in this place. I didn't hug her or touch her. I was just between her and everything else, quiet, silent, and cold, as if my existence did not depend on her gaze. She wasn't looking for peace. That's a misconception about what people want. She was looking for a place where she didn't have to be anyone in particular. Where her name, her voice, her story didn't matter. Lately, there had been too many of them. Words, explanations, presences. Her days were filled with the expectations of others, and her evenings with repetitive movements and noises that disappeared without a trace. She worked with people, or among people. She was used to being looked at, to people expecting something from her, wanting something from her. Even the silence around her was always expectant. Not here. The old trees did not know her face. The benches did not remember her body. The paths were not accustomed to adjusting. Everything she left behind returned to silence, as if her steps had no weight. She thought that was good. I knew it was a mistake. People think they are looking for peace, but in reality they are looking for a space where they are not touched, where there are no expectations or judgments. She walked past the bench without looking at it. She touched it lightly with her hand, and a small crack responded with coldness under her palm. But her shadow slid across the ground, and disappeared among the leaves so quickly that it seemed as if it had never existed. I was not watching her, but the space around her. The things that do not change when someone passes by. The leaves did not move. The air did not become thicker. Even the silence remained even and indifferent. Each of her steps left no shadow, no echo, no hint of movement. She stopped and looked back. Her gaze sought confirmation. A sign that her presence had been recorded. Nothing. She was here. That was a fact. But the park did not feel it. Its memory was empty, its calmness absolute. She sat down on the bench abruptly, as if she had made a last-minute decision. Each movement was cautious, and at the same time an attempt to feel, if she would be noticed. The chill of the wood seeped through her clothes. It was neutral, neither sharp nor piercing. The feeling that the space did not react to heat made its presence heavier than any wind. She placed her hands beside her, as if trying to take up more space than she was allowed. I watched her fingers tense. She could hear her heart beating in her chest, and feel the invisible space around her, as if it were assessing her presence. Nothing changed. The wind passed somewhere to the side. The leaves rustled, but not here. And then she felt the first crack in the atmosphere. Not fear. Doubt that she was on the right path, doubt in her own ability to be noticed. She stood up too abruptly. That's how you stand up when you expect something to change right now, as if the movement itself could elicit a response. I didn't move. I just stood a little closer between the trees, in those places where people usually look for landmarks. She took a few steps, without checking the direction, as if the movement itself would restore her sense of rightness. The park responded. Not with resistance, not with silence. Just with a lack of readiness to react. At that moment, she felt a strange fatigue for the first time, not in her body, but in her intention. As if the very desire to move had become too heavy. She stopped and called out. Quietly. Without addressing anyone in particular. Her voice was cautious, as if she already doubted it, even before the sound took shape. It did not dissipate. Nor did it linger. It did not become part of the space. I was between this sound and what was to come after it. In a pause that did not require continuation. She felt it with her body, a slight tightening inside. Not fear, but awareness. Words do not function here. They do not open or close. And she no longer tried to speak. She moved on. Not because she knew where to go, but because the stop suddenly seemed final. I allowed the movement to look familiar. The path did not break. The trees did not shift. I was between her and the depths of the park. I did not touch her, but I remained in her field of vision. I did not hide the space, I just made it less convincing. I did not lead her forward, but I did not allow her to leave for good. It seemed to her that if she walked long enough, something would surely change. People almost always believe that. She slowed down. Only then did the bench allow itself to open again. Not as a landmark. As a presence that needs no explanation. The same one. With the same crack. In the same heavy silence of the air. I didn't lock anything. I just didn't allow space to keep its geography. Her movements became jagged and unstable, a brief flash of irritation that only made her tense her neck muscles. But it found no support in this silence, and immediately faded away. And then complete relaxation set in. This is what surrender looks like, when the body finally admits that there is no way out. It was as if, along with the rhythm of her steps, the need to make decisions had disappeared. She stood there for a long time. Without panic. Without internal resistance. Her body still occupied space. But her very presence ceased to be an action. I was closer now. Not around, between. Between her movements. Between thoughts of escape. I was there not as a vision, but as a state of being. but as a state in which you don't have to prove that you are there. And that became decisive. She sat down again. Not to rest. And not to wait. Simply because further movement had lost its meaning. Her breathing evened out. Her hands lay motionless. Her body slowly adjusted to the rhythm of the space, not the other way around. I penetrated deeper. Not into her, into the gap between her intentions. The air became denser for the desire to act. Lighter, for being. The line between I'm looking for a way out and I'm here dissolved. And the park accepted it. Time behaved strangely here. It did not drag on or speed up. It lost its sequence. Events did not form a line. They were simply side by side, like faint echoes of events that never happened. The park does not remember those who leave no traces. Traces do not disappear when she leaves. They disappear when her movements lose their intention, when her gaze no longer seeks confirmation, when her presence ceases to be fixed. She no longer left traces. Even her breath left no trace. When someone else appears in the park, it will be the same here. The same bench. The same trees. The same silence. The space holds no memory of those who preceded her. No one will say that someone once sat here too long, or walked in circles. Nothing remains here. And that is why this place continues to exist. And I continue to be with it.